What's up, everybody? My name's Blue Drake. Today we're going to be taking a look at a modification for Operation Harsh Doorstop, which you can download for free right now. Both the modification and Operation Harsh Doorstop. You can download this game for free. You can download the mod for free. It's all for free. And of course, if you want to support our continued development of this game, you can support us on Patreon, get access to the multiplayer alpha of the game as well. But we're going to be taking a look at the Anzac modification today. This is from Warrior J. He's been doing some incredible work, and he's adding in Australian forces into Vietnam, which I think is really cool because I haven't really seen many games delve into the Australian forces that were deployed to Vietnam. There's a whole bunch of new weapons here and variants of existing weapons that I think are really cool. Again, if you want to check it out, links are down in the description. And what I wanted to talk about today wasn't just the mod, but I also want to just talk about the ongoing work on Operation Harsh Doorstop itself. If you guys haven't noticed, we actually just released another development blog, and you can go read that on Steam. I'll actually put that in the comments, so if you want to go read the pinned comment, we'll have our latest development blog from all of our work in April there. And one of the biggest things that we're working towards, that I really want to start pushing towards, is our first early access release of the game. And this is because there's actually a lot of things that Steam keep us from being able to do while the game isn't released. One of the biggest ones is Steam Workshop support. Obviously, the free demo that we've put out does not have Steam Workshop support. That's not because we don't want it. That's because Steam doesn't allow demos to have Steam Workshop support. And we really think that's going to be a huge part of the game, obviously, with how many people have been creating modifications and how much the modding community is really getting into creating content for Operation Harsh Doorstop. And I would say, obviously, when we release into early access with the fully public game and we have Steam Workshop support, I have a feeling that creativity and that modding community, especially for a free game, is just going to completely explode. So our team has been talking a lot about when we want to go into early access, how many features do we want to have completed before going into early access, what things do we want to maybe wait to work on, possibly after releasing into early access. And I think we're really starting to get an understanding of what the community wants out of the game and also what we want out of the game, both in the short term and the long term. In the long term, obviously, we want all of the big budget things like helicopters, jets, destruction, maybe even giant naval craft. I mean, those are all big ticket items that we really want. But are we going to be able to have all of those things done on early access launch? Probably not. I mean, this is a free game. We are bootstrapping it. We are the bootstrappinest of Bootstrap Studios. So we definitely want to get those big features into the game, but we also don't want to hold the game back and not let everybody play it just because we don't have some of those big long-term features in the game. But at the same time, we also don't want to release the game too early and don't have the foundations of the game be completely solid, so that way when we do release it into the public, it's not going to just be broken. And I think we're really starting to figure out exactly what we want the early access version of the game to be like. And that's great because that means we're actually getting closer to going into early access. It's been a long road, and keep in mind, even when we do release into early access, it's still going to be early access. We're still going to be working on features. We're still going to have those big ticket items that we're going to be working towards long term. But I think getting the game out in the public is not only going to allow people to really help participate in the development process, but also hopefully get the word out more so we can get more support for this project, so that way we can get more Patreon supporters, hopefully, to help fund development of the project. I mean, we really want to go loud, but we want to make sure when we do go loud, it's at the right time and the project is at the right place so it can handle all of that pressure. And I do think we're getting close, but I want to talk a little bit about what that looks like. Again, if you want to go and read the development blog, we have all of this written out. We have our thoughts written out. We have progress on all of that written out because we talk about it internally all the time. Go check the comments. click the link, go follow our development blog. A lot of information that we post there every month. But I think after talking to the community, taking a lot of polls, taking a lot of votes of what people think we should be prioritizing, we've kind of settled on doing the following things prior to launching into early access. Obviously, one of the biggest things is we want to go through and just fix bugs. Clean up the game, polish the existing game. We want this game to feel as solid as, let's say, Insurgency, the source version, not Sandstorm, because Sandstorm's great, but we really want this to be a solid infantry first-person shooter to begin with, and then grow from there into a large combined arms shooter. But in order to do that, you gotta have the infantry mechanics rock solid. And the first early access version of the game, we want to make sure that it is exactly that. So going through, fixing all the bugs, polishing the existing gameplay experience, super important. That's going to be the first objective. And then the next things that we're going to be working on is a lot of the boring stuff that's a little bit deceptively complicated, but still needs to be done. So improving the options menu, improving things like having really customizable key commands, so you can go in there, you can add controllers, you could add, more complicated key combinations. Because we have a lot of players from like Squad and Arma, a lot of people really rely on having good options for things like key commands and stuff like that. We want to make sure that this is going to be right up there with the best of them, if not better, when it comes to customizing your experience and making sure that you can play the game the way that you are accustomed to playing it. And then next, one of the biggest things that we really want to focus on are server administration tools. Because when we launch this game, because it's going to be free, we need to ensure that all of the people who are going to be buying servers, administrating servers, managing servers, are going to have the tools that they need to make sure that those servers are cheater-free and that they can moderate them effectively. And our team actually has a lot of, and I mean a lot of opinions when it comes to making really good server administration tools that other games for some reason don't have. And we want to make sure that we come out the gate with all of those tools so our multiplayer community can thrive and they can take care of themselves. And then, lastly, the biggest things that people have been talking about and that they really want is vaulting and mantling over obstacles. In fact, people wanted that so badly that we could have been focusing on vehicles, but we think that getting the vaulting system and the mantling system just perfect before we push harder into vehicles is actually more important, and you all seem to agree. So we're going to be focusing on that prior to releasing into early access. And then the only remaining things that we would want to get in is the FOB construction system and being able to place rally points, doing a full overhaul of all of the audio, as you guys have seen, and I've been keeping you updated on. We've actually made some really great progress on that recently. I think you guys are going to really like. And then getting in additional game modes, because right now you can only play Advanced and Secure, but we want to have other stuff like Team Deathmatch, maybe even Capture the Flag, some of the more traditional game modes, not just because we want people to be able to play them, but because we want the modders to be able to have those game modes as starting points for maybe completely different game modes that would use that logic, but isn't exactly Capture the Flag. So for instance, like say we implement a Capture the Flag game mode, but then a modder comes along and they change it around so it's a hostage rescue game mode, but it uses some of the same logic. Those kinds of things, because Operation Harsh Doorstop is going to be a sandbox game, we want to get that all in. And then when all of that's done, getting in the final layer of Steam Workshop support, so that way you can download and install maps, you can download and install game modes, you can download and install new custom factions, so you can have servers that have mods, so you join a server, it automatically downloads those mods, you can play whatever you want. When all of those things are done, I think we would be very confident launching the game into early access then. And from there, obviously, once we're in early access, we can come together with the community, we can get things like vehicles done, we can do stuff like having a more advanced medical system, maybe even working with the modding community, bringing in their ideas, bringing in their feedback, and just making everything better. That's what we want to do. So I think that we're getting really, really close to that, and seeing all of the things that the modding community has been creating is just really inspiring, and I really love that you guys are so excited about what we're creating. So again, if you want to download this for free, both the game and the mod, click the links down below. If you want to check out the development blog, click the link pinned in the comments. And besides that, if you want to stay up to date with development, make sure you subscribe to this channel and support us on Patreon. We can really use your support. Obviously, the more people we have supporting, the more things we can do with this game, and then we can release it for free and the whole community can have it forever. All right, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.